Mercedes and Tony Storm were on the cover of PWI 250 issue. Um, Great look for them. I think that coming into this, that most of us all knew Mercedes going to be number one. It would have been hard to argue anybody else for number one.
Absolutely.
Tony Storm landed at number two after being number one last year. Also, very well deserved with the year that she had. Um, you know, big match at Revolution, came back and was immediately part of a big storyline this year with Mariah May. I think some people forget that all of that stuff was this year. Her coming back as like rockstar Tony Storm and doing the big reveal on Collision that it was her all along, doing the performance of a lifetime, and the match at Grand Slam Australia, um, wrestling Mercedes at All In Texas. Yeah, just great year for her all around when you really think about it.
Yeah, I mean, just like we are talking about earlier with the Blood and Guts match, she's still a huge star. She represents something completely different than all the women in the division, where now she's not going to need to have a championship or even be in contention and still be a big star and represent something. Wrestling her and getting a victory over Tony Storm means a lot in AEW. So like she's totally established that. But yeah, like you're saying, you couldn't have made this list. If this list was anybody besides Mercedes being number one, I would have been yelling at PWI this year, just like everybody else did. But they passed through, they made it. It's all good. I do want to say I didn't. This is the one list, the list in PWI that I don't have anything to do with. This was a panel of amazing women in the space that put these lists together, that did all this. So Kevin was at the head. So leave me alone. If you're send all your threats and everything to them, because I did my article this month and that was it. But yeah, I think that for the most part, it's a great list. Like as someone who makes lists, a lot of people got hung up on placement because that's the way that they go. And there's this thing of like high end, for example, we've been talking about didn't make the list. I've done this before. Kevin said, a clerical error, essentially, like you move somebody like, somebody's in this place. Let me move them to this place. Something happened and they don't end up there. It's never personal. There's some people that are purposely left off the list. And that's because they've done something there's some people that were left off the list this year that are left off for a reason, but 99% of the time, it's not personal. If somebody's left off, nobody was like, haha, we're really going to screw high in this year. We're going to get her the fuck out of here. People take these things personal. I saw a lot of people being like, or if something like that happens, they'll be like, I can't take any of the list serious. People say that about mine. Oh, you did this. You did this one thing, so I can't take any of the list serious. I can't take what it represents serious. I can't do that. And that's very annoying and frustrating.
Yeah. Yeah. I think with the run Mercedes has been on this year, she was undeniable. Yes. Shout out to a friend of the show, Lyric. She was talking about the list on Stephanie Hardy's podcast. And I think the best point that she made in defense of Mercedes being number one is the amount of women that Mercedes has wrestled this year that moved up on a list or made the list for the first time. And that just shows you like what this belt collector run is doing. It's bringing attention to some wrestlers that people wouldn't have otherwise knew about. And that's just such a great thing when you see like some of the wrestlers that have come out and said like, this is my first time on a list, or like, this is the first time two Chilean wrestlers were on the list. That kind of stuff is dope. I look forward to that kind of stuff every year. Just little things like wrestlers posting like where they were on the list last year and like the progress that they've made in their career. I think that stuff is cool. And so, yeah, I think, Mercedes going from not being on the list last year, this is her first appearance since 2022, which is kind of wild when you really think about it. But yeah, she was undeniable. I also, very surprising, she was not number one before. This is her first year being number one on the list. So at this point, all of the four horsewomen have been number one at some point. But I think now when you really think about it, I don't think she was ever really booked consistently well over in WWE in a year to be number one. Like, I think this is really her most successful year as a wrestler, and so it makes all the sense in the world that this is the only year she's been number one.
Yeah, when she's actually being used like she should be and given the opportunities and being put into the positions and excelling, now it makes sense. Because there was a couple of those years that I thought she was the best, but they were still like you couldn't put her over Becky on some of those years, or even Charlotte with like the accolades and the things that they had. Like, but now she got all the accolades, she got all the fanfare. Like you're saying, there are women that are on this list because of their connection to Mercedes. So like what she represents now is completely different, and it's a well-deserved. There was some controversy with the people themselves with how the magazine was laid out on the cover. Mercedes herself has
Yeah,
not one time used the actual cover. She has used a fan-made cover every time. So there you go.
yeah. I do think the fan made cover looks better. I do think like that image of Mercedes with the number one up and the TBS title on. I do think that makes more sense for the cover.
Agreed.
But you know, Mercedes basically being like, yeah, no, this is the cover now. It's hilarious. Her fan base is doing what I expect them to do because the crew moves like that. They move like the Navy and the Beehive. So
That's a fact.
listen, I don't want no smoke. I like the cover. Hey.
But you brought up the best point about it, I think, on Ask Grapsody, Phil. Mercedes and wrestling media, she does it. She just not a fan, no matter what it is. Like the best wrestling media, she still hates them. She just feels like they're all dirt sheets and they're all against her, and she's still moving. Like PWI isn't her favorite thing because it's a wrestling media publication, so she's still moving like that.
Yeah, very, very old school way of looking at things. Like some
Yep.
wrestlers are just always going to see all wrestling media as the sheets, and you know
Mhm.
that's what it is.
It's
But
just
yeah,
like the
man,
hip
salute.
hop. The same thing with hip hop. Elliot was been talking about that, on how some people are never gonna like media because
Yeah,
media has historically been the ops. They've been the people that talk shit about your newest record. They've been the people that go against you, and a lot of people still move with that same way.
yeah, yeah, for sure. But yeah, congratulations to Mercedes. Well deserved. I think I have the list in front of me. I can go through the top 20 real quick. Mercedes was at number one, of course. Timeless Tony Storm. Number two, Saya Kamatani from Startup is number three. Well deserved for her as well. Big
Absolutely.
year for her. Phenomenal matches this year. She had the big match with Tam Nakano earlier this year. Tam Nakano's retirement match. She's had a strong run as World of Stardom Championship. Had a great match with Shuri recently. Is now a double champion heading into Wrestle Kingdom. Sorry, not Shuri. Sari.
Mm-hmm.
She has that match coming up at Wrestle Kingdom. Well deserved. Tiffany Stratton came in at number four. I saw a lot of people like, how did she make number four? I mean, she was undefeated for most of this year. The only loss that I can think of she had before Jade was the Stephanie Bakir match,
Mm-hmm.
and
Did
she held
she
the belt for over 300 days. So I think it makes sense for her to be top five.
she beat Charlotte at WrestleMania, man. She got a crazy ass
Yeah.
resume. Big resume.
Yeah, I think she had a strong enough year to be in the top five. I didn't understand why people were so confused by that. Stephanie Becker also at number five. When you really look at the year Stephanie has had with WWE, NXT champion, NXT and North American champion at the same time. First and only woman to do that. Came to the main roster, won a world title in her first year, won the big gaudy crown jewel belt this year. It's been a huge year for her. So again, another one made all the sense in the world to me why she was number five. I saw a lot of people upset that both her and Tiffany were over Io Sky because I think the debate at one point was if it wasn't Mercedes that was number one, it should be Io.
Yep.
And my pushback every time was that although Io has had big matches this year, big moments, she's really had the best match on a good amount of pay-per-views this year: WrestleMania, WrestlePalooza, Evolution. But the big knock against her was always going to be the title reign. I thought that the title reign was underwhelming, and that was always going to be what made it hard to put her against Mercedes, who has multiple belts and who has had like all-time TBS title run.
Yeah, that's what I was leaning towards with the Io stuff. I was like, Io's gonna place high for sure, but I think other women's title reigns are gonna take precedence, and I think that's what happened here.
Right. And I think when you stack her accolades up this year, yeah, she's had great matches, great moments, but when you stack her accolades up against Mercedes or Tiffany Stratton's or Stephanie Valkyries, it's hard to put her in that top 5 with them.
Right.
And
she deserves
people
to be
aren't going
up
to be
there.
happy. Yeah, I mean, in terms of like who she is, I think she's, one of the best wrestlers in the world for sure. But, on a kayfabe list, I understand why she's below those wrestlers.
Right.
So yeah, Io Sky landed at number 6, Athena landed at number 7, Sari at number 8, Naomi at number 9. Well deserved for Naomi. Very happy to see her in the top 10. I actually think she possibly would have been a bit higher if she didn't have to go on hiatus. But man, what a year for her, man. The heel turn and how that worked out for her. Winning the championship, Money in the Bank win, successfully cashing it in at Evolution, getting to have the big match at SummerSlam, and her dad played her out during her entrance, man. I mean, and she's been talking so long about wanting to be a mother, man. Just what an amazing year for her.
Yeah, crazy accolades, padded that resume insane with some great stats this year. I think exactly like you're saying, if she didn't get not injured, if she didn't have to go out on hiatus with her pregnancy, she would have been higher on this list. But still, great place for her. And I think, the sky's the limit. This year, she'll be able to look back at when it's all said and done and be like, that was an insane year for sure.
Yes. Rhea Ripley rounded out the top 10. Then JC Jane at number 11. Liv Morgan at 12. Nia Jax at number 13. Starlight Kid.
JC Jane was number 11?
Yes. I mean, TNA Knockouts champion, NXT Women's champion this year. I think JC being over Starlight Kid is kind of crazy.
Right.
I mean, I think Starlight Kid should have been above JC and Nia Jax, but yeah. I mean, JC had a good year. I'm not mad at her being in the top 20. 11 is a little high, but
yeah, that's fine.
Starlight Kid came in at number 14. Lyra Valkyria, top 15. Lyra Valkyria has had a phenomenal year. Intercontinental Championship run, feud with Becky, even like the tag title stuff she's had with Bayley. She's ended up being one of my favorite wrestlers this year, man. And I liked her beforehand. I liked her coming out of OTT, but man, she's had an incredible year.
Yeah, being able to do the dance with Becky Lynch and Becky Lynch continuously is putting you over is tremendous. But beyond that, she has every moment that she was in, she destroyed it. Like she was a great dance partner for Becky, and they did some great business. And I think that she shot herself into world title contention with what she did this year. So deserves to be top 20 for sure.
Yeah. Pinned Io Sky this year in the Intercontinental Tournament. She's got some pretty big matches and big moments this year. So,
right.
Yeah, I think Lyra, actually, you could argue she deserved to be a little higher, but definitely in the top 20. Chris Statlander at number 16, Jordan Grace at 17, Mayu Iwatani at number 18, Mizuki at number 19, Blake Monroe rounding out the top 20. Blake is another one, makes a lot of sense at top 20 when you consider the year she's had, both with NXT and the stuff as Mariah May. And one of the top storylines with AEW was a women's champion this year. It's now the current North American champion. So I think that's a strong top 10. It's hard to argue with a lot of those names in the top 20. Like I said, I think you can argue some of those names might be a little bit higher than I would have put them after it gets into like 11 through 20, but I don't have that much that I don't agree with.
Yeah, no, I think that these are the best women's wrestlers in the world. I said don't complain about placement, and then I was like, JC Jane at 11. What do you mean? But no, this is this is a great list. Like these are some tremendously great women's wrestlers that have put on some of the best matches of the year, and I think it's all well deserved. You know.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Chelsea Green is another one having a great year. North American
Mm-hmm.
champion, is now a double champion. I think she landed at number 28. Zuxis, I was happy to see her land here. She's been getting more exposure through AEW and some of the other positions she showed up in.
Where was Megan
Alex
Payne at?
Windsor. Yeah. Well, Megan is right below who I was going to say before that. Alex Windsor got a
Oh,
lot more
gotcha.
exposure since coming to AEW. She landed at number 32, right under her. Megan Bain at number 33. Um, Rio is at number 34, not to be confused with Japanese wrestler Riho. Rio spelled RHIO, black wrestler.
Yes.
She's
Mm-hmm.
been great this year. Great to see Charity Kane, Ashe's current women's champion. She landed on the list.
She's fire.
Maya World this year, Tekla, like, yeah, I think, a lot of like the names that I would have hoped to see here, like, it's great to see them land here. Like Catalina made the list
Mm-hmm.
at like number 82.
Shout out to the West Coast Pro Women's Champion Johnny Robbie. I think she was like 66 or something like that.
Yeah, strong list. Congratulations to the women that made it. I know there were some women that did not make the list that also had a strong year, but might not have met the criteria. Like I think Asuka has had a really good return, and the heel turn and everything has worked out really well for her. But she just didn't wrestle enough matches to make the criteria to make the list. And I
Yeah,
don't think that means she hasn't had a good year, but I mean, she just got back in June. So she missed a good chunk of the year. So it'd been hard to justify putting her on the list.
exactly. But that doesn't say that Asuka's not one of the best characters and the best wrestlers in the business still, you know?